What's up, guys? Week number 9 is here. Benny versus the Penny. I'm David Gascon. Thanks for joining us on a Friday night. BYU, you got Boise State, San Diego State coming to a close, getting beat by San Jose State. Everything going on in the National Football League. We had a kind of a boring game on Thursday night with San Francisco and Green Bay, but lots to chew on Sunday, and of course Monday Night Football. Another large spread as well. And I don't know if Ben's going to tackle that one. He did last week with the New York Jets taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll see if he found a way to cover that one. With all that being said, I got to go to the big man right now. And before we do that, this show is brought to you by Ecamm Live. It's a Mac-based application for all your streaming needs. If you'd like to have more information on that, you can click on the link below. The description will give you all kinds of info on that, an affiliate link as well. You guys can support the show by clicking on that sucker. And we'll also have some things for you guys as the night goes along with Fanatics. But without further ado, the big man on campus, Ben Mallett. What is up, man? How you doing?
What's going on, Gascon? Look at that. The magic. It looks so much better than last week, doesn't it? We've improved the technology.
You look so different. You look so different.
It's like real television. It's an amazing concept, isn't it? Yeah.
You look good. You look good. From up above, Sky 9 News with Ben Maller.
I'm in my blimp. I'm in the blimp flying around the city there. I don't know. It's some generic city behind me. I'm not sure what's going on back there, but it's good.
It looks good. It looks good. You got your Sunday best on with your blue shirt, and of course, sporting the NFL. Now, who got you that hat? Because I know obviously you get fans that send you college stuff. So, who was the poor soul that kicked you down with that?
I paid out. I dusted off my wallet, Gascon, and I paid my own money. They didn't have this hat in my size for like the last 6 months. They finally got it in. So, and by the way, I used the Fanatics link. I want you to know I did use the Fanatics link on YouTube. That I saved a couple of bucks on it. So we do the commercial. We ask people to click on that, and I actually clicked on it. And it worked, and it was harmless, and it was painless, and I saved a couple of bucks. So there you go. Look at that. I found a way to save a couple of bucks.
That's good. That's good. Now, does that mean that you will click on that for the rest of the year, or is that just a one-time thing that you're supporting your own cause?
Well, you think I'm going to be buying more stuff? I don't know. I have enough hats. I'd like to get a few more college hats, but I think this was the last one that I was really gunning for. So something else is going to have to pop up. Although I keep getting messages from the Maller militia. They're like, I'm going to send you this hat and that hat. I'm like, okay. And we'll believe it when it happens. But
no. Hey, listen, it's as we're getting closer to like winter now. You got to ask for beanies. You got to get kicked down with the beanies now.
I got to get my winter hat collection. That's right. I've got to have every season because it's so cold in California. It's so freezing in California. We've got to have like parkas and all that stuff. It's brutal out here. My God, I was talking to your mortal enemy, Moving Man Matt from Boston, and he's like, he's wearing shorts, and he's like, his wife. He's talking to his wife back in Boston. She's got like 2 jackets on. It's starting to get cold back there.
Yeah, layered up.
Good times. Absolutely. Yeah. So, you want to start picking games here? Should we get into it? Did any more cheaters get hired? I saw Alex Cora got hired. They're doing this intentionally, Gascon, because they know on Friday night and then also on Saturday night, I am not the watchdog of sports. So they're hiring these cheaters when I am not there, and they're doing this intentionally to avoid Maller monologues. I might have to do an emergency Maller monologue like on Tuesday of next week because this is some bull crap is what this is.
Well, the nice thing is if you ever wanted to, if you had a wild hair up your butt, you can always hit me up, and you can come here digitally and rant and rave, and of course spread the word to your masses too. So that's the nice thing about being in the Bat Cave is you can do that at any given time. Now, I know you want to avoid it like the plague, and we are in week 9. But before we look ahead, we must look back. And
no, we don't have to look back. I live my life in the future, Gascon. What's done is done. There's no need. Oh, you're gonna put the graphics up here? Another average week, another losing week. How dare you?
See, juicing out is not all that bad. So at least you maintain some sort of semblance at the 500 mark. So 7-7.
Guess what? You have to win like 53%
Yeah.
of your bets to make money.
I understand that.
7 and 7, you lose money.
I understand that completely, but I tried talking you off the ledge last week, or at least the penny did, and saying get away from the New York Jets, despite the fact they were plus 19.5. And you didn't want to bite. You didn't want to bite on the defending Super Bowl champs. I don't know what else we can do, man.
Now I'm looking at the graphic here. So I'm on the left and the penny's on the right. Is that
you know what? It's like when you cook those pizzas or whatever that is that you put on top of dough. You gotta let this thing bake a little bit. A little pepperoni, little sausage, little cheese, little spices all over the place. Like, can you just relax? Relax, as they would say.
Oh, there you go. Okay, see now I know. Oh, look at those professional graphics. Boy, that's great.
You're so antsy.
I'm fine. But so essentially we're dead even. There's like 2 percentage points difference between the penny and myself. So it's essentially a dead heat here. Neither one of us is doing that well. I mean, I'm 3 over 500. Actually, wait a minute. Hold on a sec here.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at the overall record, and it says the same, but you have given the penny a higher winning percentage, which is that Gascon, Gagon math there? Because the way I look at that, if we both have the same record, how does one have a higher winning percentage than the other? Explain that to me, Einstein.
Well, you know, sometimes you insert these winners into the machine, and maybe we might have a mechanical error when it comes to the winners and the submission devices. So I don't know. I don't know what to say. That could be a mechanical error. We can go back and recount and tally up the weeks 1 through 8, but for the time being, it's at a 515 winning percentage. Of course, there's a small error on that, but I'm happy because you typically do not like to look back at things, and now we did. How do you feel about the card for this week, week 9?
Well, this whole Corona bullcrap. I didn't even bet the game Thursday, although I did give it out on Twitter. I didn't even give it out on the radio. I did take the 49ers, so I would have lost that. I didn't bet on the game because of all the players that were out. I was just going to stay away from it. And there's a couple of games this weekend that I wouldn't touch. But because it's Benny versus the penny, we'll give out picks and all that. So, I mean, it's an okay card. There's a lot of close games. There's a couple of pick'em games this weekend. So you have that. And I do see, though, the boys in the chat room are fired up. I know you love when I look at the chat while we're on this here.
See, the luxury is that you can actually I can actually, bring some of these guys into the mix if you'd like to. It's a little bit different of an element. I know you don't like that, but as you can see, you get a couple guys like
David
Steve on here. We got Pierre, and see, it's
we need a recount. See, we
there you go. See, there you go. People keeping it honest. See, these are the joys that you get to see on this end of the spectrum. And now, since you're hovering across whatever city that might be, now, of course, you have the luxury of seeing your guys in real time down below.
Well, I'm in the Mallard Blimp is what I'm in right now. This is the Mallard Blimp, and I'm flying over Generic City, USA. Which is good. That could be the Mississippi Delta. That could be it could be the breadbasket of America. It could be any place. I mean, you name it.
Yeah.
I don't see any cornfields though. I don't think it's Iowa.
No, not in Iowa, not in Nebraska, not in Oklahoma. You were somewhere in a metropolitan-like city. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's pick some games. What do you say? You want to pick some games?
Yeah, let's do this
thing. Let's start out with Seattle at Buffalo. It is the first game that we are going to handicap for Benny versus the penny here. It's on Fox. You better watch. Greg Jennings, Chris Myers on the play-by-play, Jennings and Brock Heward on the color commentary here. You see some of the numbers on the screen. So the weather, partly sunny, 68 degrees at kickoff at Bills Stadium. Beautiful Bill. I've been there. It was Ralph Wilson Stadium.
Ralph Wilson, yes.
When I was there. Yeah, they changed the name a couple of times. It was New Era Field. Then now it's just Bills Stadium. So the Seahawks opened a 1.5-point road favorite. They're favored by 3. I'm going to take the home dog in this game. I'm going to take Buffalo. And so couple of points on this game. Now, Russell Wilson he certainly got back on track last week against the 49ers. The 49ers lost Jimmy Garoppolo. He didn't play well before he got hurt in the second half of that game. The Seahawks are 8-4-1 against the spread since last year. You go back last season, and they're getting Jamal Adams back. That's one of the reasons a lot of people are betting on Seattle is because Jamal Adams, the safety from the Jets, he's coming back. He's been injured. They will also, though, be without Chris Carson, the running back, and Carlos Hyde. So they're down to their third-string running back. The Seahawks are somebody named DJ Dallas, who played last week, will get to work. Now, I'm a little worried about Buffalo. I am picking the Bills, but I'm concerned they're going to be hung over from celebrating their Super Bowl win over the Patriots. But I cannot pass up the home dog element here. And the Bills have a couple of linemen out. They got their starting center out, a couple of defensive linemen, which is not great. And they've also not covered any of their last 4 games of this season. Here's what I'm gunning on. I'm gunning on the fact that Josh Allen, he's been terrible the last 4 weeks, but that Seattle defense is the perfect magic elixir. So I think he's going to play well. The weather's not going to really be a factor in this game to slow the game down. Seattle's defense is dead last in total yards. They've given up 29 passing plays of 20 or more yards and 7 passing plays of 40 or more yards. So there are going to be opportunities there for the Bills to move the ball. I love my home dogs. Bills 30 and the Seahawks 27. The final, and that's the pick. Oh, look at that. We've got the Penny sound effects. This is so exciting.
Right out of the gate, Penny's going with the Seattle Seahawks. I feel like I've opened up a brand new world for you. Like there's you got the giant-sized Penny. That was courtesy of Chris, right? Chris had hooked that up for you?
In Iowa, Maricopa, Iowa.
There you go. So he's got that. You got the Mallard balloon, and now you got a Penny full circle. So
it's very exciting. And,
right out of the gate.
And who did the Penny pick? I wasn't listening.
Seahawks to win outright and cover.
All right, so we disagree on that. All right, next game, Denver at Atlanta. It is on CBS. And this game, a Greg Gumbel, Rich Gannon game. The Falcons opened up a 4-point favorite. The line moved down a little bit to 3.5. It's currently back up at 4. So the Falcons a 4-point favorite at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It is a indoor stadium, but in Atlanta, it'll be 70 degrees at kickoff. I'm going to take your Broncos, Gascon. I'm going to take the Gascon Broncos. He's a Bronco fanboy. Philip Lindsay, it appears, is going to play. He's not guaranteed to play. He's got a bad foot, but it certainly sounded like on Friday that he was heading towards playing in this game. And listen, the Broncos are 3-4, which is below the Mendoza line, but even though they've played ugly, they've been very good if you're a gambler. In fact, Vic Fangio, Uncle Vic, who's likely not going to even be the coach of the Broncos past this season, 3-0 against the line away this season. And the last 9 games against the spread as a visitor, when the Broncos have been on the road, they are 7-2. That's a .778 winning percentage. They have been straight cash homie. Their last 13 games as an underdog, the Broncos are 10-3 against the spread. Obviously, they haven't won all those games, but they're 10-3 against the spread. So those are some good numbers if you like the Broncos. And I know they're doing it with smoke and mirrors. Drew Lock, he had the big second half last week against the Chargers, but he's the 34th ranked quarterback in the 32 quarterback league, where 32 quarterbacks start any given week. The last 4 weeks, he's been brutal. But Denver is 8th in scoring defense on the road this season. So they've been pretty efficient away from home, 11th in total defense on the road. Broncos 5-1 when Drew Lock throws at least 1 touchdown. When he doesn't throw a touchdown, they're 1-3. Now, as far as Atlanta, Calvin Ridley, that stud receiver, that number 2 guy behind Julio Jones, he is questionable. He's got a bad foot. The Falcons' defense played a little bit better the last couple of weeks since the coaching changed, and they brought in Raheem Morris, who was the defensive coordinator. But the Falcons are 28th in total defense. and they have been, as I said, a little bit better the last couple of weeks, last 3 weeks or so. But since the start of week 4, check this out. Road teams in non-conference games, like the Broncos, are 13-4 straight up, 13-3-1 against the spread. That's 10 games over 500 in the last 17 games. So Atlanta is not good enough to be favored by more than a field goal against anybody. I think of the Broncos and the Falcons as pretty similar. Obviously, Atlanta's got some sexier players than the Broncos on offense, but I'm going to take the Broncos. I think they win this game outright. I'm not buying the Falcons. Broncos 26, Falcons 23, the final. And the penny picks.
Homer alert. Going with the Denver Broncos.
Oh, yeah, penny. You didn't even flip the penny. That's a lie.
It's a covering machine, man. They've been great against the line this year. They're not the anti-Dallas Cowboys, but they're pretty damn close.
All right, the late night drug tester says, better stadium name, Ralph Wilson, Joe Robbie, or Jack Murphy. Well, I'm biased, man. I worked in San Diego, so the Murph, Jack Murphy Stadium has a special place in my heart. I used to go there when I was interning at 690, and I'd buy the cheapest ticket to the Padre games.
Yeah.
And by the second inning, I was sitting either behind the visiting dugout or the home dugout, depending on which I wanted to sit behind.
Did you ever go to Three Rivers in Pittsburgh?
No, I never made it to Three Rivers. I've been to the new ballpark, which is beautiful.
Yeah.
Just outstanding.
Oh, for baseball or Heinz?
Yeah.
Did you go to Heinz Field or PNC?
PNC, the baseball park, with all the bridges in the background. People pointing out no beard by Gascon. What happened, Gascon? Did you have an accident with a razor or something like that? What happened to your trademark beard?
Well, sometimes you got to shave that sucker off. So
did you lose? You must have lost a bet or something like that. Did you lose a bet on the election?
No, I did not lose a bet on the election. Is that why it's growing back so quickly? Because it's still pending.
I don't know what's going. I didn't even know. Like, how great is this? I didn't even notice you shaved the beard till somebody in the chat pointed out you shaved the beard, because I don't even look at you. That's it.
I know. That's why you're like really shocked to see graphics. You're shocked to see comments and things of that nature. So.
It's an amazing concept here. It's outstanding. So
I love the two-way conversation you're starting to have. I really see that kind of maturity in your growth now after 40 years in radio. That two-way conversation.
40 years in radio. Hold your horses, cowboy. All right. Why don't you pump the brakes on that one? Okay. Jeez.
Sorry.
Okay. All right. Let's do another game. Chicago 5-3 at Tennessee 5-2. It's on Fox. Kevin Kugler and Chris Spielman have the call in this game. The Titans, they are a 6.5-point favorite. This line has stayed the same all week at Nissan Stadium in Nashville. It's going to be mostly sunny, 78 degrees at kickoff. And I am going to take the Chicago Bears in this game. Now, one of the reasons, you always look for an angle as a gambler. You're always looking for, hey, why to pick this team, why to pick that team. And one of the things I've learned over the years from doing this is you look for certain situations where, you've got a quick turnaround. For example, the Tennessee Titans, they play next week the Colts. That's a big game for them in the division. It's on a Thursday night, and that stat that really stands out here, teams straight up, the game before Thursday night football are 2-12. Straight up. So they also say styles make fights, and obviously that works here in football games as well. The Titans generally have gone over the total. The Bears games generally fall under the total, so they like to keep the game a little bit closer, a low scoring. Tennessee also, they've got major problems getting to the quarterback, so they've only had 7 sacks this season. That is tied with Vegas for the second fewest in the league. Only Jacksonville has been more putrid at getting to the opposing quarterback than the Tennessee Titans, which is stunning considering all the money that the Titans had and how good they were last year. It's pathetic. Here's another pathetic thing. Ryan Tannehill, who's played very well as a quarterback in Tennessee, 13 games in his career where he's been favored by 5 or more points, 13 games, and Tannehill is 3-10 against the spread. So that is a terrible terrible record against the spread, 3-10 for Ryan Tannehill. And then on the other side, you've got Nick Foles. The Bears are 3-1 versus the line away this season. Tennessee is just 2-4. Their last 6 games going back to last season at Nissan Stadium. And Chicago, actually, they've got a winning record while being outscored by 5 points this season overall, if you look at the total points scored. Now, turnovers are also the great equalizer, and that's another thing about this game. Khalil Mack and that Bears defense have forced an average of 1.1 turnovers per game compared to the less than 1 yard. Like it's 0.6 turnovers per game Tennessee's defense has been able to force. You've also got Jadeveon Clowney, who's been all but useless this year. He is unlikely to play. He's got a bad knee. Do all the math. Now, I think Tennessee wins this game, but I think it's a close game. It's a fourth quarter game. So I'm going to take the points. Titans 27 and the Bears 23. And the penny pick.
Going the other way. Going Tennessee in that one.
All right. So
I'm a little shocked at you, especially considering the fact that you liked the Bengals last week and the Bengals upset the Titans. I figured you'd probably go that other way with that one.
You think I was going to take the Titans? No.
Yeah.
The Bears are ugly. The Bears and the Broncos are similar. Like they play the games close. Most of them are close. They don't usually get blown out. They're low scoring defensive games. It's it's the same deal.
Yeah. Fair enough.
All right. Let's see here. All right. What's next? Detroit at Minnesota. It's on CBS with Kevin Harlan and Trent Green. Now, the Vikings opened a 2-point favorite in this game. They're favored by 4. It's going to be partly sunny, 67 degrees at kickoff at US Bank Stadium. I'm going to take the Lions in this game, and here is why. The Vikings, they're just 3-5 against the spread. These are the last 8 games at home. Obviously, that goes back to last year, but they have won and covered their last 5 against Detroit. So they're on a bit of a hot streak against the Lions. I just don't trust Minnesota from week to week. They dominated Green Bay. Dalvin Cook ran wild. But the Vikings have been a yo-yo where they'll play a couple of bad games. They'll play a good game. They'll come back and have a couple of stink bombs. So up and down. Now, I know the Vikings, the team they have dominated is Detroit. In fact, they have the best record of any team. The Vikings have the best record by any NFL team in any matchup that has been played at least 100 times. The Vikings have won 76 out of 100 and something games against the Detroit Lions. So I'm going against some history on this. And also the Lions are without Kenny Galladay. He's got a bad hip, so he's out. And I'm going to be very clear. Now, I'm betting on the Lions, and I'm going to wait, and I'm going to make sure Matthew Stafford is playing because he is on that COVID list. I understand he's tested negative according to his wife, so he's probably going to be able to play. But I am putting the caveat on this. If Stafford's not playing, I ain't betting on the Lions, so you can forget about that. I'm on the record on that, Gascon. We have this on tape and all that. And Detroit, check this out, though. The Lions, listen, they're 3-4. They're typical mediocre Detroit Lions. But they have scored at least 21 points in all 7 games this season. That is the longest such streak for a Detroit Lions team to start a 1954. My God. So I think this will be a nip and tuck game. Most divisional games are nip and tuck. Minnesota will not be able to completely control a Matthew Stafford offense. Again, we're assuming he's going to play. Vikings will win this game, but they will not cover. Vikings 33 and the Lions 30. And the penny picks.
Going with Minnesota in this one. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, Scott points out that Everson Griffin is mad at Mike Zimmer. I'm sure that was Everson Griffin going to have 7 sacks in the game? Come on, please. Calm down. Well, I see Justin in Cincinnati, who has just compared Robin Vegas to the Unabomber. And here's one. Mr. Luciano says that Blair from Maine is equal to you, Gascon. How's that make you feel?
I don't know. I don't know. Does Blair in Maine still have a home?
Well, yeah, he's not homeless. He moved into a group home, and he told us famously that he went and took a dump behind a trash can this week because he couldn't make it to the bathroom. Or I guess he could have made it to the bathroom, but it was very odd. He called up a couple of times and told some weird off the charts stories. It was very odd.
Maybe you motivated him from your story a few weeks ago.
I inspired him from my potty habits there.
Maybe if you can pull it off on a mile-long walk, maybe he can pull it off. But unfortunately, he could not. So, wow, that's awful. That's a horrible story.
All right, now Jesse writes and he says, Gascon, I'm not getting notifications when you guys go live. That's a bad job by you. Why?
Well, there's 3 ways that you can get a notification. You can subscribe to the channel and then hit the reminder button, which will remind you every single time. That's one. If you follow us on social media, your account, Ben Maller on Twitter, I'm at David J. Gascon. That's 2. And if you set up the notifications on YouTube, anytime anyone that you subscribe to actually launches a live show, that'll also be aired as well. So there's 3 different ways. That's a bad job by you, Jesse, being lazy. Don't give me that shit.
Gascon. I thought the customer was always right. Gascon.
No. Hold on. They can't be the customer. They're not paying for anything.
No, they're going to buy a bunch of crap on Fanatics is what they're going to do.
Oh, now it's crap on Fanatics?
Well, I paid for this hat, Gascon. I paid for this with my own money. I dusted off this wallet. I dusted that off and paid with it for my own cash.
Yeah, don't fool anybody that Louis Vuitton wallet that you got there that you're flashing.
No, I got you want to see my wallet here? I have the Costanza. Do you remember the Seinfeld episode with Costanza and his wallet?
No, I do not.
Is that an outdated reference?
It might be, but
I have a Costanza wallet here. I'm gonna hold it up. I want you to see. So it looks like that. It looks like a normal wallet, but if you look at it, see how thick it is. See that?
Do you have some of the old school photos in there? Like, do you have a photo of your wife and your dog and your parents in there?
No, I have no photographs. I have some business cards, but I can't hold it up because it's got my phone number on it. And then people will just call me like Doc Mike, and I don't need that. So, yeah, I do have some Halloween candy because we didn't get many trick-or-treaters, so I have.
What do you got? Oh, Reese's Pieces. There you go. That's a good job.
Yeah. See that right
now,
there?
Do you freeze them?
Well, right now they're on my desk, but yeah, I should freeze them. That would be the smart thing to do. Yeah.
I mean, Reese's Pieces, yes, and maybe like a Hershey Kiss, but not Snickers. Can't freeze those.
Peppermint Patty. You like Peppermint Patty?
Yeah, those are good. Those are solid.
Frozen, they're really good. Yeah, those are solid, man. Oh yeah, that's a veteran move right there.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep it going. Now, this is a game. This next game, I am looking forward to watching. I hope we get a good game here. Baltimore 5-2 at Indianapolis 5-2. It's on CBS with Ian Eagle and Charles Davis. Now, the Ravens opened up a 4-point favorite in this game. The line currently is a pick'em. So it's a pick'em situation. Partly sunny, 71 degrees in Indianapolis at kickoff at Lucas Oil Stadium in downtown. I've not been to Indianapolis since they played in the old RCA Dome back in the day. That's many years ago. So that's
the house that Mike Vanderjagt killed, right? That burned down.
Yeah, that place was a dump. But I love the minor league ballpark, Victory Field in Indianapolis. That was a cool ballpark.
Yeah.
Where I don't know if they're still called this. They probably aren't because of sensitivity. But they were the Indianapolis Indians when I was in Indianapolis. So yeah, probably not that anymore. Maybe they are. I don't know. I'm going to take the Colts in this game. I'm going to take Indianapolis in this game. Lamar Jackson. Here's the thing. He's the defending MVP of the NFL. But he has been a pedestrian quarterback over the last 4 games. Much like we talked about the problems Josh Allen's having, Lamar Jackson struggling with accuracy, a touchdown to interception ratio of 7-4. And remember, he had 36 touchdowns and only 6 interceptions last season. Now he's got a 7-4 touchdown pass to interception ratio. Certainly lately he's been bad. The Ravens' passing offense is down in Jets territory. You never want to be compared to the Jets. and that is where Baltimore finds themselves. They're 31st in the NFL in passing offense, and they are lacking the wow factor. They're lacking the fear factor. The injuries also are starting to pile up. Now, all things being equal, I was going to take the Ravens originally, and then I looked at the injury chart. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm out. I'm out on the Ravens. You got the left tackle, Ronnie Stanley. Remember, he got hurt. He's out for the year after signing that big contract. He's got a broken ankle. Mark Ingram has a bad ankle. He's also dinged up. Several other players out. The Ravens have only dropped 5 of their last 18 against the spread. However, their last 4 games against the spread this year, they are 0-3-1 against the spread. So they're in a tough stretch. Now, the Colts have only played 1 game as a dog this year, and it doesn't really matter. They're 0-1, but this is a pick-em, so they're not an underdog. But that stat also applies we gave earlier. So I'm going against the stat on this game. We mentioned the Thursday night game next week is the Titans and the Colts. So that's going to be a good game. It's a key game. Teams are 2-12 straight up in games before Thursday night football. So I'm betting against the Titans. I'm betting on the Colts. The Ravens are leading the NFL in yards per carry. That's their offense. They don't throw the ball. All they can do is run the ball. They're a one-trick pony. The Colts have not allowed an opposing player to rush for 75-plus yards in their last 11 games. That is the longest stretch for them since 1988. So they're on a good stretch. That's going to be tested obviously this week. And Baltimore trending the wrong direction. Indianapolis trending the right direction. I'm going to take the Colts. They win this game. And they win this game by more than a field goal. In fact, I'll give them 6 points. Indianapolis 23 and the Ravens 17, your final.
Penny's going with Baltimore in this one. Phillip Rivers will be a sitting duck. I'm expecting at least 2 INTs from Rivers in this ball game.
Yeah, you're okay. I thought it was Benny versus the Penny, not Benny versus Gascon. How dare you interrupt on the Penny's territory? What's wrong with you?
I'm speaking for the Penny. Is
that right? All right.
Yeah, it's Penny suppression. That's what we're calling it here tonight.
The boys are getting political in the chat, Gascon. They're breaking down the presidential race between Biden and Trump. So they're getting into that. Calm down, you idiots. Calm down, all right? Jeez. My God.
Can't do anything about it, my man.
Late Night Drug Tester says over/under swear words by Phillip Rivers 1.5. How about the bolo tie? Will he be wearing the bolo tie?
Oh, okay. If they win, yes. If they don't, no.
Okay. All right. You want to do a trivia question, or should we keep going and doing the game? What do you want to do here? You want to do a trivia question?
Yeah, we could get into some trivia. We can do that. We got actually a bunch of trivia tonight. I got three questions. So let's do the first one, shall we?
All right. You want me to do it? I'll do it.
Yeah.
I can do it right now. All right. Here we go. First question. What? You want to do it? You can do it.
Fire away.
All right. Blank. We're looking for the name of an NFL quarterback. Blank NFL quarterback has a 750 career winning percentage when throwing for under 250 yards, yet has a 125 winning percentage when throwing for over 250 yards, which seems opposite. Right? You would assume that if you throw over 250 yards, you would be better than under 250 yards. So I thought this was an odd statistic I came across getting ready for Benny versus the Penny. So we're looking for the name of said quarterback, the name for said quarterback here. And I'm going to go to the chat right now and see if anybody knows it. I see Chris. I think Chris is in Iowa. He is guessing Danny White.
Hold on. Before you get any of those answers, before you get to any of those, guys, this portion of the show is brought to you by Fanatics. For all your sports attire, you guys can click on the link in the description. That is our affiliate link. If you want to support the show, click on the link. It supports us for what we do. You can buy anything on there, usually at discounted prices, and also they include some shipping costs as well too. Do that. Help us out. All of this provided by Fanatics. There's actually someone on here, Ben, that's complimenting your green screen. Now, I don't know if she's complimenting your green screen or mine, but there is an outside individual that has made her way onto the group chat. But anyways, yes,
I
Who
see
am
that,
I?
and I like that she's hiding her name so no one knows who she is. That's good that she's hiding her name because, you want to keep a low profile on the internet. You don't want
Yes.
people to know who you are.
Right. Only thing missing is an email address and a telephone number.
All right, let's see some of the answers here. I mentioned Chris said Danny White. Dan is going with Quincy Carter, the late night drug tester. His answer here is Kyler Murray. Randy Macho Man Savage, guessed by Rob in Vegas. Let's see here. Justin in Cincinnati says you should be arrested, Gascon, for not wearing a mask. I agree with that. Well, I think when the new president takes over, you will be arrested for not wearing a mask. Chris is going with Peterburg as his answer. Who else do we have? Mr. Luciano says Mike Tyson. Jonathan says that one is easy. Northwestern State Demons legend Craig Nall is the answer. Dan Pastorini from Scott. Rich is going with Tim Couch. Who else do we have? Jimmy says Chargers rookie Justin Herbert. Let's see here. Aaron is going with Ben's green screen is the answer. That is the answer. Who else do we have? Gascon wrote the Fanatics copy. Yes. Pierre, or actually Alf, the alien opiner, is going with Bella as his answer. Justin in Cincinnati says it is Aaron Hernandez in the prison yard.
It's bad, dude.
And, yeah. All right. The correct answer is
you have no patience for this, none whatsoever.
Why?
This is just let this thing. What do they say? Let it breathe a little bit. Let it breathe, and
right.
as you can see,
I'll let it breathe. Right there.
You go.
Wow.
The answer is Kyle Allen. I feel a little bit bad. Like you and I like produce this show once a week, 90 minutes usually in length, and all of a sudden, your wife comes on here and just steals the entire show, like hijacks the entire show.
Yes. Well, it's good for the people. It's an added bonus for the people in the chat because now they're distracted by her, and now we can just pick the games and they won't even listen to us.
That's true.
That's a good thing, right? Yeah. All right. So. You want to keep going here?
Yeah, we're going next.
All right, we did the Baltimore-Indianapolis game. So next up, Carolina at Kansas City. It is on Fox with Kevin Burkhardt and Daryl Moose Johnston on the call. The Chiefs opened up a 10-point favorite. They're a 10.5-point favorite in this game at Arrowhead Stadium. The weather partly sunny, 69 degrees. At kickoff at Arrowhead. I am going to take the Carolina Panthers plus the 10.5. Now, Matt Rule, the coach, has been very good as a live dog. In fact, Matt Rule has covered his last four, and that's his entire career because he's never been an NFL coach before this season, but he has covered his last four as a dog this season and last three on the road. The Chiefs, however, they have covered their last 15 out of 17. They're 15-2 against the spread their last 17 games. Now, Patrick Mahomes, check this out. When favored by 10 or more points, he's already been favored by that many points or more 11 times in his career. He is 7-4, but that's not as good as 15-2, which is what the Chiefs' overall record is against the spread. Kansas City is without their offensive tackle, Mitchell Schwartz, again. He's got a bad back. He's out. They may get Sammy Watkins back. Watkins has a bad hammy, and he's supposed to come back. Now, Kansas City coming off a win and a cover against the Jets. But we know the Jets are like a glorified 5A high school team. They suck. And I was very disappointed. I had Carolina last week in the Thursday night game. They played well the first quarter. Their defense were like the Keystone Cops when they were trying to tackle people from like the late second quarter. The rest of the game, they were terrible. I am concerned about that, obviously, because Carolina is shorthanded. But Teddy Bridgewater, there's a lot to like if you're a gambler about Teddy Bridgewater. And Bridgewater's averaging 215 yards per game in this losing streak. He averaged 274 yards per game and had a 5-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio when Carolina had that winning streak. But Bridgewater, even with that loss last week to Atlanta, 31-11 against the spread in his career, going back to his Minnesota Viking days. The Vikings, or Carolina rather, getting Christian McCaffrey back, their star running back. He's had a bad ankle. He's back. Carolina's top safety, Jeremy Chin, is questionable in this game. So I'm going to take the backdoor cover and Carolina. So the Chiefs will win this game 30-20 over Carolina. So I'll take Kansas City plus the 10.5. And the penny pick.
Getting beat by the hook, huh? Penny's going with Kansas City in this one. Right in the hot hand of Mahomes.
Justin in Cincinnati says, Ben, you're officially Anthony Davis considering your wife picks your clothes. No, she's embellishing that story. She's embellishing that. And she's also, by the way, can you kick her? Can you kick my wife out of the chat, Gascon?
I could.
She's spreading ranch propaganda to the Maller militia.
Technically I could, but I don't know if I'd be welcome back in the Maller Mansion if I kick your wife out. If you kick your wife out.
I mean, that's bullcrap. You can't have her hijack the show and promote ranch dressing. That's the devil's blood.
It might be, but it's the better half that wants it, so she gets what she wants. So
that's bullcrap, man. That's bullcrap.
Well, welcome to a whole new world, man.
All right, next up, Houston 1-6 at Jacksonville, also 1-6. Who would have guessed that Houston and Jacksonville would have the exact same record after 7 games? But here we are at that intersection. This game's on CBS. Spiro Ditas and Adam Archuleta have the call. Now, the game opened, the Texans a 4-point favorite. They're all the way up to 7, a 7-point favorite. In this game, 79 degrees and rain at TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville. So factor that in. There'll be some rain showers in this game. I am going to take the Texans in this game. I'm going to take the Texans, and I'll tell you why. Now, Jacksonville started the year. They had that upset over the Colts, and they actually had another game after that where they played pretty well. Of late, they have no covers in their last 5 games this season. Now, there is a positive for Jacksonville. That would be James Robinson. He's 4th in the NFL, averaging 100.9 scrimmage yards per game. He's averaged 19 scrimmage touches per game. So among all rookies, only Chase Claypool of the Pittsburgh Steelers has more touchdowns than Robinson among all the players who are in their first year. Now, this quarterback matchup is lopsided. So lopsided. Now, I'm not a Deshaun Watson guy. He's been playing pretty well this season, and he's the highest quarterback rated guy last 4 weeks. He has the highest quarterback rating among all quarterbacks who have played in all of the games over the last 4 weeks. Now, Gardner Minshew is out, so that means someone named Jake Luton is going to make his first NFL start.
Who?
I looked up some of the numbers. This guy played at Oregon State, so I looked up some of his numbers. And you know what he did when pressured while playing for the Beavers? Check this out, Gascon. This is
completion percentage is what, like 70%?
No, 35.8% when pressured at Oregon State. And if you think he's going to be pressured in the NFL, I'm going to go yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to go yes. So now that said, I'm taking a risk because every once in a while you see that beginner's luck where a guy who's not all that good comes out and starts throwing bombs.
Yeah.
I'm going to bet that doesn't happen here. The Jacksonville coaching staff has said, Gascon, that if Jake Luton plays well in this game, they are willing to bench Gardner Minshew when he's healthy to play and just go with this guy.
How does that make you feel? Because you were on the Minshew train last year and this year.
No, I think it's bullcrap. I mean, Jacksonville's got a lot of problems. Gardner Minshew's not great. He's an average NFL quarterback.
Yeah. And
I think he's getting a raw deal. But here's the Texans also, they've got some guys on that COVID list that are out, including Whitney Marcellus, who's out.
Merciless.
Whatever, I was close, doesn't matter. And he's not playing. So normally one of my tenets has always been in a divisional game, anytime you get 7 or more points, you take the underdog. But I am going to go against one of my tenants because there's no way I can bet on Jake Luton. I cannot do it. So I'm going to take the Texans 30 and Jacksonville 13, your final.
Penny's going with Jacksonville on this one.
All right. Who is next here? Let's see what they're doing in the chat. Jesse writes in, that's Jay Scoop. I have Deshaun on my fantasy team. Most of his points have been in garbage time. Well, yeah, because Houston sucks. I agree with you out on Jesse. But Jacksonville, they're a special kind of suck. So I'm gonna take the Texans in this game and call it a day. All right, next up, the New York Giants at Washington. It is on Fox. Our guy Kenny Albert, friend of the show, Kenny Albert, and Jonathan Vilma are on the call here now. Washington opened up a 3.5-point favorite. People got excited because the Giants played a competitive game Monday night, and they bet that line down all the way to Washington as a 1-point favorite. It's going to be sunny and 69 degrees at kickoff at FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland. I am going to take the team formerly known as the Redskins in this game. Now, first of all, quietly the Giants have been cashing tickets under Joe Judge. Not that they actually win these games. They're only 1-7, but against the spread, they've been better. And after the Bucs game Monday night, the G-Men are now 4-0-1 against the spread. Their last last 5 games now. So they're 4-0-1 against the spread their last 5. New York has won their last 4 games against the number. So they've got a good stretch going, including they covered the Monday night game against the Buccaneers, and also that game back on October 18th against Washington. Now, I'm betting against the Giants this week. They put a lot of effort into that game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Daniel Stumblebum Jones is good for at least a couple of interceptions. The Giants, again, will be without Devontae Freeman, and he's out with an ankle, so that means that Wayne Gallman and Dion Lewis are going to get to work. We gave you that Kyle Allen stat. Kyle Allen and Washington coming off the bye week in this game. They are rested. The Giants put a lot of effort into that game against Tampa. It was a primetime game. They didn't come out with a win. I am going to take the team that used to be called the Redskins over the Giants, 26-20, the final.
Penny is following you as well, going with the Giants in this one.
The late night drug tester says Gascon's backdrop reminds me of Hockey Night in Canada, the Open for the Canucks. Did you steal that from the Canucks Open, Gascon?
I might have.
You might have.
Well, I didn't steal it. It's borrowing temporarily.
Yeah. All right. Trying to see what else is going on in the chat here, Gascon. Let's see here. A lot of reaction to the wife. She's still in the chat right now, live, interacting. Dan says the NFC East is going to have a 4-win team as a champ. No, they're not.
Would be great, though.
One of those teams, they'll win a minimum of 7 games. Minimum of 7 games. You want to do another trivia question, Gascon? Why don't we do another trivia question?
Would be nice if we got, like, Philadelphia to be in there, right, with, like, 6-9-1 record. That'd be kind of awesome.
Yeah, well, if they keep adding playoff teams, we're going to get teams under 500 every year. Yeah, every single year, we're going to get teams under 500.
All right. Let's get this one in. I will kick this one off. Devontae Adams is the first player with at least 600 yards receiving and 8 touchdowns over his first 6 games in a season since me. Who am I? Brought to you, of course, by Fanatics.
Who am I? Yes, right, Fanatics. See this hat right here? You see this hat? Fanatics. I got it at Fanatics. You can get one just like it. It's an NFL Shield hat. Support the show with our friends at Fanatics. If you click on the YouTube page in the description box, you can see it right there. It's the second thing down, the first link, Benny Penny at the end of it. And they have all kinds of sports apparel. If you want to get a Dodger World Series shirt or a Dodger World Series hat. If you want to buy me a hat because you think I would look good wearing said hat, as long as it's not an Astros hat or a Laker hat, I'm good with that. Size 8, Fanatics, click on that affiliate link right there. And it does not cost you any more. In fact, you actually save money on this, Gascon. You save money, and then you get your product as well. And they've got all kinds of specials there with shipping and whatnot. So it really depends on when you click on it. But go to that Fanatics link. You're going to buy something anyway. It doesn't cost you any money. It helps us out, right? This is a win-win proposition. I'm not asking you to spend any money for us. Spend it for yourself. That's what I'm saying. Man. Yeah. All right. So some of the answers coming in here. Can I give the answers now? Is that okay? I guess.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
All right. Pierre is saying the Fox Sports Radio cockroach. There's actually more than one cockroach, Pierre.
He probably meant the one that you meant in between the two window panes in the studio.
Well, no. We talked also on the show the other night about cyborg cockroaches, Gascon. Did you see that story out of Japan?
No, what was it?
Yeah, supposedly there's some cyborg cockroaches that they're going to release to the market, and they can carry stuff around your house, and they can crawl. They're not advanced enough where they can like carry your sofa yet, but they can like crawl behind walls. So if you've got like a problem with your plumbing or something like that without tearing the whole wall down, you can put cameras on them. That kind of crap.
Did you see that movie? I don't know. I forget. It was like 10 years ago called Minority Report with Tom Cruise.
I don't think I did see that movie.
Well, in this movie, it's a futuristic movie, but basically it's all about crime prevention. It's like pre-crime. That's what it's called. But they have these electronic spiders that basically, when they're tracking a suspect, that these spiders they throw out into the open. These spiders come and like track people down, then open up your eyelid and scan your cornea to see to identify you. It made me think about that.
That sounds about right. That's coming.
Yeah. You can watch
the next 10 years.
You can watch that after you're done with your PBS saga of.
Oh, come on, country man. No, it's great, man. Hillbilly. I'm a hillbilly. Hillbilly Benny. I love my bluegrass music. I'm all about the bluegrass music. All right.
Disgusting.
The answers here. Chris is going with Randy Moss as his answer. Golden Richards, tossed out by Scott. Who else do we have? Carl Lester Crumpler from Jonathan.
That's a good name.
Page down here. Queen Roxanne is going with Mrs. Maller. Rich says Yo Murphy is the answer. Ray Caruth in prison from the late night drug tester.
Isn't he supposed to get out in a couple years?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Either that or he's eligible for parole, but yeah.
Or maybe he already got out. Maybe he did get out. Justin in Cincinnati is going with the national team from New Zealand, the All Blacks, as his answer. Dan says Helmet Man now has obsolete cockroaches. Hillbilly Jim, guessed by Alf, the alien opiner. Who else do we have? Page down. All right, that's enough. What is the answer here, Gascon? There we go. Look at that graphic right there. Randy Moss, the great Randy Moss. When you are compared to Randy Moss,
yeah,
you're doing something right. Now, I have a great Randy Moss story. You want to hear my great Randy Moss story?
Is it a Minnesota or New England Patriots story with Randy Moss, or is it a Oakland Raiders story with Randy Moss?
It's an Oakland Raiders story.
Oh, even better. All right, what do you got?
So I was doing the show with Chris Myers for like 4 straight months. Randy was playing with the Oakland Raiders. The company signed Randy Moss to a contract for the Randy Moss Show on Fox Sports Radio.
Oh.
So, and it was on the Myers Show. So Randy would call in like every Tuesday at, whatever time. It was in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Randy was not only an Oakland Raider, he hated playing for the Raiders. He was terrible. He couldn't stand it, right?
Yeah.
And so he got upset with the Bay Area media, and he stopped talking to the Raiders beat writers.
Mm-hmm.
He just said, "That's it. I'm done. I'm not gonna talk to you guys anymore."
Yeah.
But he had a contract. He had to come on our show, and so whatever he said was going to be in the newspapers and all the websites in the Bay Area. And at that time, Michael Vick was playing for the Atlanta Falcons. I think this was before the whole puppy killing thing. And as I recall, there was a rumor about the Falcons being interested in Randy Moss. And so I asked Randy Moss about playing with Michael Vick. And he, usually you ask a question like that and the guy won't take the bait. He took the bait. He's like, yeah, I'd love to play with Michael Vick. And that became like a big story for a couple of days. So
that's pretty funny.
Yeah, it was pretty good. And Randy would he'd answer most of the questions, although he didn't like talking football. He's another one of those guys, he liked talking about other stuff other than football. And it's pretty amazing, or not amazing, it's pretty amusing, ironic, I guess, that he now works in the media, breaking football games down. I get a kick out of these guys that don't like – Jim Rice was a complete douche canoe when he played with the Red Sox with the media. And now he does television for the Red Sox. He's a commentator on their post-game show on Nesson in Boston. It's crazy.
That's pretty interesting, yeah.
Let's see here. Jesse J. Scoop says Randy Moss had one of the best fro picks ever. Yes, he with the Vikings. You're talking about Randy with the Vikings there. Man, Dan says Randy Moss needs to refund the Raiders, is what he has to say.
I know you're not a big fan of the Lakers, but Kobe Bryant back in the day had one of the better fros in the NBA back in his early days.
Yeah. I was around Kobe a lot when the first couple of years in the NBA. I was forced to cover the Lakers. And,
you were doing both, weren't you? Clippers and Lakers?
Yeah, I was out at all those games when like Kobe was 19 and 20 years old and all that.
Yeah,
and
shooting air balls against Utah.
The Del Harris years as Laker coach. Good time with Delmer.
Oh,
as he was a dead ringer for that actor Leslie Nielsen, the guy from the Naked Gun.
Oh
movies. Yeah. And
Leslie Nielsen, O.J. Simpson.
One of my favorite memories of that period when I was forced to cover the Lakers was at Media Day. The Lakers had drafted this guy, Ruben Patterson.
Yeah, I remember him. The Kobe stopper.
Well, that's what he became known as, but he played with the Lakers. He was in training camp, and at Media Day, this is back when I was really fat, they had all these donuts from the media. So I grabbed the plate of jelly donuts and long. I had all the different kinds of donuts. I had the apple donut. I had the cinnamon donuts, and so I go and it's at the Forum. So I'm sitting at the Forum, and who comes down, grabs a plate of donuts, and sits right next to me? Ruben Patterson. I'm like, listen, I'm a fatty. I'm in the media, man. Well, you're an NBA player. What are you doing eating the donuts, man? What's up with that?
That's pretty damn good. Was he cool? Was he nice?
Yeah, he was a good guy. I mean, I guess he got accused of some kind of shady stuff later on, but he was nice to me. I don't know. I was only around him a little bit, but I got nothing bad to say about the guy. He's pretty good. All right, you want to move on here, Gascon?
Yeah, let's move along.
We're going to get to the late games. Can you believe we're already at the late games? This is amazing.
Yeah. Wait, you had the Giants or you had the former Washington football team? You had the former Washington football team, didn't you?
I took Washington 26-20 over the Giants. Right. And the penny picked who?
The Giants.
All right, we just
I should have remembered because anytime you can inject the former Washington football team's nickname, you will swing that stick.
This is something the PC police are going to have a problem with. You can change the name of the Redskins, but they don't even have a nickname now, so they are the team formerly known as the Redskins. I mean, it's like they just put them on a holding pattern. It's like they're circling O'Hare Airport in Chicago, waiting for a runway to open up so they can get a nickname. Man, jeez. All right, here we go. Let's do it. Vegas 4-3 at the LA Chargers 2-5. It is on Fox. Adam Amin. Did I get it right, Gascon?
You did, Adam Amin.
All right, it only took me half the season. Adam Amin and Mark Schlereth have the call. This game is a pick'em. It opened the Chargers a 3-point favorite. Sunny and only 61 degrees. It never rains in LA, but it's a rainy weekend in Los Angeles this weekend. Rain all day on Saturday. God, can you believe that? A rainy day in LA?
Yeah, it's
shocking.
Unfortunate.
This game at SoFi Stadium, the Palace in Inglewood. You've been to SoFi Stadium yet, Gascon? Have you freeloaded as a media guy and gone out there?
It looks beautiful. I know that, but I have not been inside like you have.
I have not been there either. Now, I am going to take the Chargers in this game. The Raiders have been road warriors, so I'm going against the Raiders in this one. Vegas is 3-1 against the spread on the road this season. I'm betting that stops. Now, they won a bad weather game in Cleveland, so the numbers were not great. And they won that game in large part because of the incompetence of Jarvis Landry, who dropped several touchdown opportunities there. The Browns blowing it. Now, the Raiders, they remind me a lot. We talked earlier about a team that takes a step forward and then takes a step back. That's the Raiders. They take a step forward, they take a step and a half back. They're 4-3. Because of that, they've got some big wins. They beat the Chiefs at Arrowhead, an impressive win. Got their face smashed in a couple of times against teams that you thought maybe they would play better against. So I am going to take the Chargers. The Raiders also with Josh Jacobs. He's got a bum knee, and he might not be able to play this weekend. The Chargers are without. He's got a concussion, so he's out. And this is a big game for Anthony Lynn. The Chargers, they're trending the wrong direction in many areas here. The Chargers are 0-8 straight up, 1-6-1 against the spread against divisional opponents since Anthony Lynn took over, or since last season, rather. So many of those games, they have had big leads, many of them. Justin Herbert, I think he's as good, if not better, than Derek Carr. Certainly the last 4 weeks, Herbert has been better than Derek Carr. The public is all over the Raiders. The wise guys, the sharps, are all over the Chargers. I want to be on the side of the professional gambler. So I'm going to take the Chargers. I think this is a high-scoring game in the Dome in Inglewood. Chargers 33 and the Raiders 28.
Penny is also going with you and going with the LA Chargers. Well, over-under in that one, I think, was 51 or 51.5?
I would bet the over on that. Jay Scoop says I had better autumn wind than the Raiders after eating Mexican food last night. Well, congratulations. Have you heard, Gascon, have you heard me sing the autumn wind? Have you heard the recording of that?
No, I have not.
You have not heard that? Oh my God, Gascon, that's an amazing. I'm telling you, that's an amazing recording. You've got to hear it.
Where did
it's
you?
It's in the system. What?
Maybe I'll pull it. I'll pull it next week because it'll be. We could do this. We could do it side by side because didn't you have the anthem from Saddleback College that you had last year?
What are you talking about? The anthem from Saddleback College?
Yeah, we had something on the podcast last year that was.
Oh yeah, they did a commercial promoting the radio program at Saddleback, and they used but this was me doing the voiceover. I came in one night, and for some reason I had a really deep voice. I sounded like John Facenda, or I think it was John Facenda that's saying, "The autumn, the autumn wind is a Raider." And that whole thing, and just that night I sounded just like it. It was perfect, and so
That's good.
did. Yeah, it was pretty good. It's one of the few things I've done that I'm actually proud of.
That you actually listened back to.
Yeah, that's it. It's one of the few things there. Absolutely. Late night drunk testing win should get a Marconi. There you go. Steve says, Gascon, ask the penny when Ben will eat the tomahawk steak. Maybe Ben is waiting for someone on Cameo to ask him to eat it so he can get paid 5 stars. Yeah.
Jay Scoop.
Yeah.
Jay Scoop was the one that kind of ordered that, and for some odd reason, you pulled it out to showcase it, but not to cue it up. It's fine. And for the record, you actually said if the Dodgers won the World Series, you would cook it the next weekend, and you did not pay out that tease.
I said I would cook it, and I am going to cook it. I didn't, next weekend obviously didn't work out. I was in a celebratory mood, Gascon. I know you don't really know what it's like to have your teams win championships, so this is rare for you. So I'm enjoying it.
LA Kings won 2 Stanley Cups in 2012 and 2014.
Yeah,
You were there.
You're not really a hockey guy, though. Those were more my championships. Those are my championships. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
all right. It's odd. Did you go to you used to go to the Great Western Forum all the time, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Back in the day, I was there regularly. Sure.
I still remember where I used to sit with my dad. Section 32, row 14, seats 9 and 10.
Have you been to the Forum in the last 10 years?
No, I haven't. I haven't been since the Kings moved into Staples. But have you gone for concerts or what?
I went with the wife. We went to see Louis C.K. before he became outed.
Man.
Now he's not allowed to do comedy. I think Louis C.K. is really funny. But
yeah, he's good.
Yeah, he did a stand-up tour through L.A. and it was a packed house at the Forum, and
man,
that's pretty cool.
And the Forum was good back in the day.
Yeah, now though, compared to these new arenas, they're building a new arena for the Clippers. It's going to look like the Taj Mahal compared to the Forum, right across the way.
Yeah.
Yikes. All right. Let's move on here. Pittsburgh 7-0 at Dallas 2-6. It's on CBS. Now this is how great the Cowboys are. They are obviously a white-hot tire fire. They're 2-6. But CBS is sending their number one broadcast team to call this game, Jim Nantz and Tony Romo. Why? Because the Cowboys, no matter how bad they get, always are television ratings gold. Always have been ratings gold. Now, the Steelers opened a 13.5-point favorite. They're favored right now by 14 points in this game. 14-point favorites. My God, Marone. That is a massive number at AT&T Stadium, also known as Jerry's World. 77 degrees and sunny in Arlington, Texas on Sunday. Now, this is not a game I'm actually going to bet on, but if you put a gun to my head and said, you got to give me a pick, which is what we do on Benny versus the Penny, I am going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers here. I'm going to lay the 2 touchdowns. The Dallas Cowboys are now 0-8 against the spread. They're 2-11 their last 13 games, going back, obviously, to last season. And they will be starting an absolute turd at quarterback. Either Garrett Gilbert or Cooper Rush are going to be the starting quarterback in this particular game. And good luck. Flip the penny. It doesn't matter. This is the perfect storm. All right, so Dallas has a dime store defense. They've got sloppy tackling, lazy football. Their offense is a bunch of lightweights. I don't know how, outside of Roethlisberger throwing a bunch of interceptions and Dallas having a short field and playing great special teams, I don't know how they're going to generate any offense. The Cowboys. Now, I generally despise double-digit favorites, but this is, again, an exception to the rule. The last 10 years, road favorites of 13 or more are 6-3 against the spread. So they've actually won, twice as many as they've lost against the spread as double-digit favorites. The Steelers are 7-0 straight up, 6-1 against the spread this season. Now, Pittsburgh's meat and potatoes, defense, and they've done very good in that department. They're the top defense, in my humble estimation, in the NFL. Some of the stats say they are not. The Cowboys' offense, though, my God, they're so terrible. And the numbers are skewed a little bit up because of the Dak Prescott games. But since he got hurt, they've had a garbage time touchdown against Arizona. And I think that's pretty much it as far as touchdowns are concerned. The Cowboys have turned the ball over 2.2 times per game this season. The Steelers are averaging 1.9 takeaway per contest. So listen, this is going to be disgusting. There'll be a lot of garbage time. I am going to take the Steelers 34 and the Cowboys 13. I say they win this game by 3 touchdowns.
Penny's also going with you on this one, going with Pittsburgh.
All right, so we agree. Laying the number on that big 14-point favorite. Alf, the alien opiner, says Romo would be an upgrade for sure. Signed the Romo-sexual. Late Night Drug Tester says Tony Romo walking through that door just to call the game. Scott says, no, DiNucci. He opened a restaurant. Yeah, Ben DiNucci opened a restaurant. That is about right. There you go. About right. All right, here we go. Next up here, Miami at Pittsburgh. Miami at Pittsburgh. This game on CBS with Andrew Catalan and James Lofton. They have the call. How about Lofton? He's been out of the NFL as a player for like 50 years, but he's still working at CBS. Good for him.
Yeah, he's got it, man. He's still got it. He's like like your boy Charles Davis. He's got it too.
Yeah. All right. Normally, the way it works when you're a former player, the further you get away from your playing days, the less valuable you are. Right? They want to play musical chairs usually. They want to bring in the new hot former athlete.
Yeah.
And so the fact that Lofton's been able to keep that gig, that him, Terry Bradshaw, Howie Long, I mean, these guys have had those jobs for years and years and years. And normally that's a high rotation thing where you want to bring in the new player. That's one of the reasons. Remember Emmitt Smith when he was on television, how bad that was? But he was the hot guy, so they had to hire him at ESPN.
Yeah. Emmitt Smith, Joe Montana, like a bunch of those guys.
Yeah. All right, so Miami is 4-3. Arizona is 5-2.
Missed them last week.
I didn't miss them. I was fine. I enjoyed the week watching football. Cardinals opened up a 4.5-point favorite. They are still favored by 4.5. Cloudy, 65 degrees in the Valley of the Sun in Glendale, Arizona at State Farm Stadium. The pick is in, and I am going to take the Miami Dolphins in this game. Now, Miami, not a great team, but I got to tell you, I look for the coaches. This is a gambling show, Gascon.
Yeah.
I look for coaches that are gambling friendly. And Brian Flores, this guy who was a disciple of Belichick, for gamblers, he has been amazing. Right? This guy has been the filet mignon for coaching. His teams have scratched and clawed. The Dolphins, their last 19 games are 14-5 against the spread. That's a 737 winning percentage since early in 2019. Their last 15 games as an underdog. You know what the Dolphins' record is? No, you don't. Last 15 games as a dog, the Dolphins with Brian Flores are 12-3. That is an 800 winning percentage. They haven't obviously won all those games. Now, I'm concerned because Tua Tagovailoa looked like Tim Tebow. That's not a compliment. he was terrible. There's something about those left-handed quarterbacks, Gascon, where you just don't look right. You know, it's like it looks like a glitch, doesn't it, when you watch a left-handed quarterback?
I mean, even Steve Young looks awkward when he played back in the day.
Yeah, like Michael Vick was great running, but when he was throwing, it looks like something's wrong. Like there's something broken.
Yeah.
But
at
listen,
least with Vick, at least he throws a bullet.
Well, that was part of the problem, though. He didn't have any finesse. You got to have a little bit of finesse also. Yeah. I think Tua's got too much finesse. But listen, he was a duck out of water against the Rams. Arizona's defense is not as tough as the Rams' defense. They're out several starters. The Dolphins are also without Matt Breida, their running back. He's got a bad hamstring. He's not playing in this game. So Jordan Howard, who blows, and that new guy, DeAndre Washington, are expected to be the backfield for the Dolphins. But I really love Brian Flores defensively. He's the guy that can draw up that defensive game plan and really mess with alligator arms Kyler Murray. Cardinals coming off the bye week. They had that big win, comeback win, overtime win against Seattle the week prior to that. But Arizona, their last 5 games at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, they are 1-5 against the spread. So that ain't good. Kenyon Drake is out. He's out. So Chase Edmonds gets the start in the backfield. Also, Drake Kirkpatrick, he's got a bad thigh, so he is out for Arizona. I am going to take the Cardinals 27 and the Miami Dolphins 26. That means Miami wins the money.
Listen, until you get something better with your internet connection, you can never bash Kyler Murray again. Penny's going with Arizona for the cover and the win.
I don't know what you're talking about. I am using the company internet here. I don't know what's
no
going
wonder
on
it
with
sucks.
that. Wow. Well, some of us, listen, Gascon.
What?
I can't use my other internet because everyone in this house is using the internet. So I have to use the
What do you
company
mean?
internet.
In this house, you're above rooftops right now. You're in a chopper. You're looking over cities
Oh, that's right.
unknown.
I'm in the blimp. I'm in the blimp.
Yeah.
It seems to keep flying over that freeway, though. It seems like I see the same cars every time it goes by here. It's very odd.
Yeah.
It's strange. You see the tail lights, and then you see it's starting again. All right. So this is great. Outstanding. Let's see here. Pierre Alf, the alien opiner, says, was Jim Plunkett a southpaw?
Yeah.
There you go. Mason, the millennial, says, I'm convinced you're high. He says, Funky Flashman says, I'm sitting on the throne taking a Gascon. How about that? There you go.
I don't know what that means.
Yikes.
I'm surprised.
All right.
I'm surprised you didn't acknowledge that Jay Scoop is in here. Jay Scoop, the guy that paid for your first class trip ticket to Seattle, paid for your entire hotel, your transportation, your food, your drink, everything else for you.
He did not pay for all that, Gascon. You're full of crap. He did pay for some of it. He was very kind, very generous. I know that you don't have anybody to
take advantage of a good working man, a blue collar man who take advantage of him. Unbelievable. That's a hostage situation.
No, I said, hey, listen, I might go to Seattle or whatever. I was debating whether to go, and he stepped up. He's like, I want to make sure I get to hang out with the Maller Militia. He set it up. We had a great night. It was wonderful. He found a firehouse bar in Seattle that we went to. It was perfect. It was surrounded by all these other bars. It was great. It was the perfect night. I came in there. They were chanting, Maller, Maller, Maller. It was awesome. I got a hero's welcome. See, you're just jealous, Gascon. The green monster, the one-eyed green monster, that's what's going on right now. Jealousy by Gascon. It is unbecoming. That is a bad job by you, Gascon.
Nothing of the sort. I mean, if I really needed someone to cater to me and fly me across the world, I'd talk to our friend. I'm a pilot.
Oh, he's my friend. He's not. He just pretends to be your friend. All right? You have so much bitterness towards generosity. Again, I didn't ask for it. If people offer it, and you have bad blood because people are fans of the show.
If I had a net worth of $3.5 million in multiple homes, I would not take advantage of a blue collar worker in the Pacific Northwest. That's all I'm saying. That's all. Now,
if you think that is true, see, this is what happened with that douchebag weed man hippie, because he read on the internet on one of those, you can type anybody's name into Google and say how much are you worth, and so I don't know where they come up with those numbers. And so they say how much I'm worth is like millions of dollars. Trust me, if I was worth millions of dollars, I would not be doing a Friday night YouTube show for free. All right? I'd be sitting in my casa somewhere, my vacation home on Catalina Island or something like that. I would not be here.
Oh, man. Listen, if you were sitting in your home on Catalina Island, I'd hope you swallow some cyanide, because that's not paradise, my friend. Anyways, moving forward.
Because you live across the way, and so but trust me, compared to the crapola in a lot of places, I love Catalina Island. It's beautiful. It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
No, you're just saying that to move on. You're just being nice to move on.
That's what we call moving the sticks. Moving the sticks.
Yeah. All right. Let's see what else is going on in the chat. Robin Vegas says, David, I will buy you an airline ticket and pay for your hotel to a location of my choice.
Yeah, nobody cares about Rob. Nobody cares about Rob.
Dan says, if Gascon goes to Seattle, Seattle wouldn't have turned into an anarchist jurisdiction.
That's true.
It'd be Seattle west of the 405 style.
It'd be style, people with hygiene, brushing their teeth, wearing deodorant, putting that little on. Goes a long way. Dan, I appreciate that. Yeah.
Steve writes in and says, wait a second, this isn't Todd Wright all night? Do you remember that overnight show with Todd Wright?
Yeah.
I actually was buddies with Todd Wright. We were internet buddies for a couple of years back. He was doing radio. Last I heard, he was doing radio like locally in Tampa, but I don't know what happened with that. I'm not sure what happened with that. But he was working in Tampa, last I heard.
Mrs. Maller, Mrs. Maller is blue collar. She is blue collar. Don't say we. Say you are blue collar, not Ben.
This is a blue collar right here.
No,
this
Mrs. Maller. That's artificial.
You are wearing a white. You're wearing a white collar shirt, dummy. I'm in the Maller blimp, and I'm wearing a blue collar because I'm a blue collar worker. You see
listen. Let's move. Let's move forward. We got one final trivia game too that we can get to.
All right. Well, why don't we do the Sunday night game, and then we will do the Let's Get Trivial. Okay.
Sure. What do we got?
All right. Sunday night. This is the big one. New Orleans 5-2. The boys from the Bayou, and they play at Tampa Bay 6-2. It's on NBC with Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth. The Buccaneers opened a 4.5-point favorite. They are favored by 4.5 right now. It's going to be windy, overcast, 76 degrees at kickoff at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. I am going to take the Buccaneers in this game. I have a sneaking suspicion that this game is going to be a pull-away situation late, and the Buccaneers are going to end up covering that spread pretty comfortably. Now, I realize I'm going against some numbers. The Saints are 8-2 against the number on the road, although they're only 2-6 their last 8 overall against the number. So they've lost some games at home. Drew Brees is nursing a shoulder injury. You might have seen that on the injury report. It sounds like he's going to play, but if not, Jameis Winston could get some playing time in this game. The old Buccaneer quarterback, it is a possibility. How delicious would that be? I talked about this the other night, and I was getting some crap from the Saints fans who are like, don't even say that. Don't even put that out in the world. We don't want to see Jameis Winston, that whole deal. But I want to see Jameis Winston because that would be good. Winston would love to play in that game to get some revenge against his old team and make his starting debut for the New Orleans Saints. My God, that would be better than Drew Brees. Now, also, we have Michael Thomas, who's expected to play, friend of the Maller militia, thanks to his cousin, Holiday, who calls our show. Holiday revealing that Michael Thomas's agent planted that trade rumor because Thomas was upset with Sean Payton. So Thomas has been out with injury, and also he's in the doghouse with the coaching staff, but he appears to be back from the penalty box, which is good news. New Orleans, though, has not impressed me. Even though they're 5-2, they struggled to beat the Bears, a pretty mediocre Bears team. They had to go late into the night to do that. Secondly, after Monday at the Giants, Bruce Arians, 4-2-1 against the spread the last 7 games this year. So that's okay. It's a couple games above 500. The Buccaneers have a 10-touchdown advantage over their opponents. The only team that has outscored their opponents by more touchdowns is Kansas City. That is it. I'm also excited to see what Antonio Brown can do. Tom Brady did not play that well last week. The Buccaneers snoozed through the first half of the game against the Giants, and then they went turbo-tastic in the second half of that game. So my theory is that the Buccaneers were looking ahead to this weekend. So I believe that if you look ahead, you've definitely got to win that game. I believe they will. Buccaneers 31 and the New Orleans Saints 23, the final.
Penny's going with Tampa Bay as well.
All right, so the penny goes with Tampa Bay, and we agree on that one. Time now to get trivial. Let's get trivial. Here we go.
The last one for the night. So what do we got? How about this? Since the merger, I'm the only running back with over 450 carries to have no fumbles in my career. Who am I?
All right, so the merger happened in 1970. So this is 50 years of NFL football.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what they're saying. Alf, the alien opiner, says that you have the blue and white collar Maller, he says. Late night drug tester says Ben listens to country blue collar. That's right, not bluegrass. I listen to blue collar. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Some of the guesses, we'll get to those coming up in a minute. That's right. I forgot to beg people to give thumbs up. That's a bad job, Gascon. We should have been begging people earlier to give thumbs up. We need thumbs up here. See that? Just like that. Thumbs up. And that helps us out. All right? That's what you got to do. And you put the answer up there, Gascon. What's up with that? I haven't read any of the dumb answers.
I was reading the dumb answers. There are plenty of dumb answers.
Bubba the Love Sponge was guessed by the Funky Flashman. Let's see here. River Craft-Wright, 74-string wide receiver. I don't know. George the Animal Steel, the late, great George the Animal Steel from Rob in Vegas. Jonathan is going with Bam Morris. Gaston Green.
That's good.
Guessed by Jimmy. And Super Blurry Ben. Yeah, I noticed that. For some reason, I goes in and out. Now it's looking good right now, but it was blurry.
It's probably because of your dial-up connection to the internet.
I'm on AOL. It's not working. I'm AOL. We're doing AOL Messenger. AOL Messenger, right? Is that what we're doing? Yeah.
Yeah, old school days.
All right, last game. Here we go. We're almost on time, Gascon. We're going to be a little bit over. Monday Night Football. New England 2-5 at the Jets. 0-8. It's on ESPN with Steve Levy, Brian Greasy, and Louis Riddick. The Patriots opened a 7-point favorite. The line that we have here in front of us is 7.5. So the Patriots are a 7.5-point favorite. It is clear, 62 degrees on Monday night at MetLife Stadium. Now, I am going to take the Patriots. I was trying to find a reason to take the Jets, and I couldn't do it. Now, this is a lot of points, divisional game and all that. These teams are a combined 4-11 against the number this year. The Patriots have dropped their last 4 straight up. They're 1-3 against the spread in those last 4 games. The Jets are 1-7 versus the line this year, and they're 3-10 their last 13. Cam Newton Patriots have averaged 10 points fewer per game this season than the Jets have allowed this season. So there's a big chasm here. The Patriots should get well this week. You know what happens when you assume. I am going to go out on a limb here. It is a massive number for a Patriot team that hasn't played well. But the way I look at it, there's a couple of things here. The Patriots lost 2 games because Cam Newton couldn't make the hero play. Seattle and then against Buffalo last week. If they'd won those 2 games, the Patriots would come into this game. I know I'm doing ifs and buts, but the Patriots would be 4-3 if my math is correct. So if it was a 4-3 Patriot team playing an 0-8 Jets team, then this line would be 10, 11, 12, 13 points, something like that. So to me, the Patriots are closer to that team than they are closer to where the Jets are. So it's going to be ugly. It'll be a game that only idiots like me that have to do a radio show after it are going to watch. Patriots 23 and the Jets 12, the final.
Penny is going with the New England Patriots. No chance in hell.
Yeah, you can't take the Jets. You cannot do it. Cannot do it. Steve says you need a bigger hamster to spin the wheel for your internet connection. There you go. All right. Well, that's obviously what needs to happen. There you go.
Fine. That's fine. Little technical problem, but it's all good. So how about this then? So you had Buffalo, Denver, Chicago, Detroit, Indy, Carolina, Houston, Washington, Chargers, Pittsburgh, Miami, Tampa Bay, and New England as your winners for this week.
What games did we disagree with the penny? Did you write those down? The games we disagree. So that's the most important thing because that's where we, as you pointed the graphic before this all began, we have the same record even though you gave the penny a higher winning percentage because you're cheating.
Penny does a little bit more. Penny does a little bit more work, puts in a little bit more of the effort into the show. I think everyone could agree with me on that. Amazing. Got a studio audience in the background acknowledging the penny. It's pretty phenomenal.
You got a new toy, Gascon. You got some sound effects this week. Aren't you excited? Look at that.
Listen,
look at that. Would you have your own soundboard, Gascon? What else is on there? You want to put some more sound effects in there? What else do you have? But just hit any button you want on your little soundboard.
I got a couple things like that. That.
Oh, look at that. Oh, that's like a
look at that. You can get a bunch of different things.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah. So.
Now, do you have the rim shot? Do you have the rim shot there?
I do not. It's all the stock audio. Otherwise, I would have played the audio clip that you had last week of Belichick in the media, but that was.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I sent that to you, but we couldn't play that.
Yeah.
Don't
but
worry.
But now you can play it because you're synced up this way. So.
Oh, is that right? Okay, good.
Yeah. So we got some good stuff. So. Yeah, it's good.
Should I try to find it right now? Should I try to find the Belichick so we can?
That was good, right? You took it off of. I think it was off of a tweet too. So I think it was a tweet with that audio. So
it was from a news conference. It was a Belichick news conference back in the day. So all right, that's it. Benny versus the Ben. Am I free to go now, Gascon? Am I free?
You can't leave until you tell everyone to give a parting shot of thumbs up before they leave the broadcast tonight.
Oh, that's right. We do need thumbs up here. We forgot to beg earlier, so for those of you that did not watch this live and are watching it on Sunday, and we have a lot of people that watch on Saturday night, Sunday morning. Show Bella. There you go. You guys are relentless with the whole Bella thing. Steve says, I will buy you a Wolverines hat, Ben. You got to represent. I'll wear it. They're pretty bad, but I'll wear it. I don't You got to get that one with the M on it because, Michigan. Because M for Maller, M for Michigan. The same,
oh, yeah, there you go. That'd be nice.
The same deal. But, yeah, give us a thumbs up and tell somebody about this. This is not a big iHeartMedia show or a Fox Sports Radio show. This is a mom-and-pop operation. I am in the Maller blimp. Gascon is in apparently a different blimp flying around some city somewhere in the is that Vancouver?
That's Vancouver, British Columbia, yes.
That's a beautiful skyline in Vancouver. I've never been to Vancouver, but that's a beautiful skyline.
Yeah.
That's where they film a lot of movies, right? They film a lot of TV
Vancouver and Toronto, yeah.
Probably not anymore, but once COVID ends, they'll be back filming that, yes?
Yeah, once COVID is over, we start exporting all the goodies again with the Hollywood Entertainment. I think it's Atlanta, Vancouver, Toronto, and then a couple other cities in the Midwest.
Alf points out that we need the Mr. Softy music, Gascon. We've got to get that. I can send you that if you want. I have the Mr. Softy music.
You could. How about you get that guy to start looking up photos of me and in the middle of the night, like a normal 50-year-old man would do? What kind of loser does that? What kind of 50-year-old loser does that? Pierre.
Welcome to my world, Gascon. Look at that.
Oh, my God.
You know how many pictures are floating around of me when I was Fat Benny? And these guys dig them up off my old MySpace page, and they do like a Google image search of me when I was 500 pounds, and just wonderful. Just great to look back at that. Yes.
I had a couple of friends that saw pictures of you, then started watching the show tonight, and they texted me during the show, and they're like, is that the 400-pound guy? Because he looks nothing like it.
I know. Well, no, I was like closer to 450 at my biggest back in the day. But there you go. I'm actually happy it's the weekend, Gascon. I can eat. I don't eat during the week, as you know. That's why send me food. You send me food porn. You still have not hooked me up though with that VPN. That's a bad job by you, Gascon. Bad job by you.
You have a 2.5-pound tomahawk steak in your freezer. How about you go eat that tomorrow?
I'll think about it. It's gonna be rainy, so if I don't leave the house, how about this? My internet's going out right now. That's a sign, Gascon. You see, that's a sign that maybe this is not going well. But I'll make a deal with you. If it's really nasty, I will end up making the steak. How about that?
All right, fair enough. Until we meet you guys next week, follow us, subscribe to the show, click the like button. The reminder button, which is every Friday, we'll kick this thing off. You follow Ben on Twitter at Ben Maller, myself at David J. Gascon, all the other social media sites as well. But for Ben, I'm Dave. Thanks for watching tonight. Have a good weekend.
See you guys.